We joke sometimes, Mandy, about
Coffee.
privately trying to monetize our show. And one of the things, hey, you
Yes.
put it up because I wasn't aware of this. Buy me a coffee.
Hmm.
We've had people that took us up on the offer.
They wanted to buy us coffee.
Brian Sterling.
Hmm.
I forget. It's Angie's dad. Sorry, Angie's dad. What's his name?
David Massey.
David, thank you so much. But the latest person, I know this person.
Yes, you do.
Rosanna Bola. That is my lovely, lovely wife. And April 11th is our 37th anniversary.
Aw.
Yeah.
Anniversary.
And she bought me a coffee, bought us a coffee.
She did.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you, hon.
Okay, here we go.
Test.
Roll music.
Let's roll it.
Welcome to the Unknown Morning Show.
It's the show where we explore radio,
Podcasting,
TV,
gear,
gearheads,
and making money with a hot mic and other stuff too.
This is the Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
And I'm Chuck McKinley.
All right, so we're rolling.
We're rolling.
We got some space if we need to, B-roll, whatever.
We're just adjusting things out. This is kind of a we were riffing during the week, Mandy. You know what we're going to do on the show. We've kind of hit this soft spot as far as getting people in here. And that, hey, people have schedules on Saturdays, right?
Yeah, especially in the spring.
Yeah, boy. Mm-hmm. And so we're thinking, well, let's just kind of do the state of the podcast. It's been a week for both of us.
Yeah, so we're recording the Saturday before this will drop on Friday.
Yeah.
And it's been a week of severe weather.
We've had in
East Texas.
Yeah.
But also across the country.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is our day today, not that great, and then clears up tomorrow on Sunday. But yeah, and when we say severe weather, any of our broadcasting pals,
mm-hmm.
That have done severe weather, especially before,
the TV connections.
Yeah. Because, when you were with Town Square, did they have TV connections all
mm-hmm.
the time?
Well, yes, the entire time I was with Town Square, we did. We were connected with KLTV. So, of course, we had Mark Skirto as our go-to.
Yeah.
And, Mark did a great job in this market for 30 plus years. We should actually invite Mark to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
That would be he'd be a great guest.
Yes.
30 plus years in the market and just still posting on Facebook, even though he's now retired. He's still posting on Facebook about severe weather to help keep people informed. But thankfully, we had his expertise on the airwaves.
Yeah.
Basically his TV audio. To help people be weather aware during extremely dangerous situations.
Yeah, and the old days, when I was started in radio in 1977, you had most radio stations had two news wires. One would be Associated Press that would give you news. And hard news and any type of news. And most places had it to where they had maybe a 6-foot stretch above where you could hang and clip everything, and you could, find stories and stuff. Excuse me. And then you had the other one, which was weather, and you would look for, when the forecast, you knew when new forecast would come down, but you also knew, and every rookie jock was always told about the bell system. 1 ring is something, 2 rings, 3 rings, okay, 4 rings, we're kind of in trouble. In the 5th ring, it's like, DEFCON 5 or whatever it is. Yeah, those days you would get your weather information, your radar information, and you'd read it on the air. Mm-hmm. And that's all you could do. And if in music radio, you could read that, you could do an update of the weather, current temperatures. My first station did this, and I've never seen it since, and I loved it. Heathkit, they did a lot of do-it-yourself type things. They had a weather station. Mm-hmm. And if you looked across, it would have barometer, your temperature, wind speed, and all that. We had one in our studio, and we were required each and every hour at the top of the hour to write the temperature, wind speed, and all that, which most of us jocks, we're 18, 19, 20 years old or whatever. A pain in the butt. We don't want to do this. But we did it anyway because biggest value that came in is when you did have severe weather, you could say, we've lost 10 degrees in the last hour. The barometers did this. Our wind speed has gone southeast from 5, southeast to, 45 miles an hour. That's when those things became valuable, and I've never seen it since. In the mid-'90s at KNUE, Bob Peters was our weatherman. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And for those that don't know the Bob Peters story, Bob Peters, I don't know if he still teaches at TJC, political science, meteorologist, and he's blind. And he has been, I think, since childbirth. You could sit there and read the radar to Bob, and he would come back after the song and just tell you everything. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. And I believe on KTBB many years ago, they had a little feature, basically Stump Bob. Mm-hmm. They would ask him the high temperature for any place ever, and he, around, that day. I don't know if it's the United States or the planet, and he'd tell you.
That's wild. That's wild.
But I mean, like yourself, I mean, I think when we were at the ranch together, we did weather on the air the old-fashioned way, right? Didn't we do it?
We did for a while.
Because we weren't hooked up
with a TV partner that was able to help us. It's interesting because I think we had Mark back then too, because, sometimes media alliances change over the years.
Oh, boy.
But I think when we were both at the ranch together, KLTV did our weather forecast for us. I believe they sent them over, via MP3, but we didn't have the capability to take a live audio stream from them, at least at first.
Yeah.
And so, we were relying on the information that we had from the internet to broadcast, with, from NOAA. And you really shaped and mentored me and how to do that. And it was, we were talking off mic earlier about the responsibility of that. It's a big deal. And especially like yesterday evening as things were breaking loose, afternoon and evening as things were breaking loose across East Texas, these storms can stay on the ground for a while. Sometimes they hop up and then they come back down. But for whatever reason, they have a tendency to follow like highways.
Yes.
And so, there are still a fair amount of people that listen to radio in their car. And if you don't, you might think about it during severe weather season because,
oh boy, yeah.
You can at least be informed because if you're not aware, if you just think it's a typical thunderstorm and you got a little rain and lightning, thunder maybe, if you're unaware of what's happening, you can be in a very dangerous situation. I had one, it was this kind of a bad weather story when I was still at East Texas Radio Group downtown.
Okay.
I was there making sure that the TV connection got on, and then I was trading places with another broadcaster. I don't remember who, but they were allowing me to leave during the severe weather situation.
Okay.
Like they were going to stay and man the fort. And I was like, great, because I don't want to be here. I'd rather be at home in this situation. And I was dating someone that lived in town. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take off. It's only going to take me like 7 minutes to get to their house. I'll be fine. I walk out the back door. I get in my car, and I swear to you, I felt my car go like move. That stupid tornado was literally, it was in the air. It was moving across near where we were.
Oh.
It's the one that ended up at TJC.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
This was like 15 years ago.
Yes.
I drove my not very bright self. This is me telling you, please don't do this because it is so scary. I drove from the station to his house during that time. It is one of the scariest drives I've ever had. It was not smart. I don't know what made me do it. I guess my adrenaline was high and I just wanted to be somewhere where I felt safer, but it was not a safe decision.
Yeah. We had a deal a couple of years ago when we had tornadic weather in Tyler by TJC. Mm-hmm. And I used to tell Rosanna, and to set this up, my wife is the ultimate weather bug. She will tell you about storm chasers, loves it. She's had her certified weather observer sheet, all this. And so my favorite thing that I would say to her when she'd say, look, we're getting this. And I go, look, let me tell you something. When there's a tornado on the loop, you just call me, okay? So it's I think it was a Tuesday.
This was just a couple years ago, right?
Yes.
It was literally coming down the loop.
It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday.
Because I live just inside the loop, and
yes, and we're and she's listening to Doc Deason, fabulous job.
Yes.
Especially yesterday, he had an upper respiratory thing that was just awful, and it was to wrestle with that.
He was powering through.
Oh man, you just you do what you do in radio. You take a handful of drugs, check your copy, and you go on. Doc, we love you. We need to have him back. But, she said, it's by TJC. And the lizard part of my mind, I thought, well, there's one line I guess I can retire forever. Mm-hmm. But it's like you said, Mandy.
Were you at the office that day? Because I feel like it was probably about 6, 7 o'clock at night when that came through. Because I was on a Zoom meeting, like a virtual meeting with a friend, and I could hear the tornado sirens going off in my neighborhood.
It was right after work because Paul Gleiser, our owner, general manager, KTBB, and I'm pretty sure Bill Coates, I want to say Scholastic All-Stars, they were at TJC, so all of this is breaking loose too. And because, we were all kind of texting back and forth, are you okay? Is everything fine? And we're fine, we're good,
Yeah.
But yeah, you have this, you have the sense of somewhere between, as a broadcaster, I don't want to screw the pooch. I don't want to make a mistake. I feel responsible for people because there's nothing worse than when your radio station misses it. Have you been in that situation?
I've heard it happen. I've not been the person that missed it, but I've been driving around knowing that it's happening and flipping through various stations to see who was on it and who wasn't on it, and noticed who wasn't on it before. I'm not going to name any names or call anybody out.
But it's disappointing when that happens.
But it's disappointing, because you know that the people that are listening to that station are being underserved in that moment.
Yeah.
Well, last year we had straight line winds come through Tyler. Some people would probably tell you it was a tornado, but I'm pretty sure it was just straight line winds. But it took down a lot of trees. It looked like a war zone in my neighborhood. In fact, we had a massive tree down in our backyard that missed. I mean, we had some leaves up against our house, but we didn't have any damage to our house. It was kind of a miracle the way the tree fell. It was actually our neighbor's tree fell into one of our trees, like a domino effect.
Yeah. How did the domino turn out for you and Aaron?
Well, we had a massive cleanup in our backyard. Yeah. We didn't have any damage to our home, but our chain link fence was destroyed. And we lost some trees. When we bought our house, we probably had about 14 mature trees in our yard, and we are down to like 3 now.
Wow.
Now some of those we strategically took out because we didn't want them to end up in our house, because we saw a lot of that in our neighborhood last year.
Hey, did you do the walk this morning? You have the storm.
No.
You have the storm. I mean, you go out and you start looking at the roof and go, okay, we're fine.
No, in fact, we just had a new roof put on our house. I don't remember, maybe you'll recall, Super Bowl Sunday, not this year, but the year before, we had massive hail in Tyler, like in town.
Yeah.
Darn near golf ball size, and it was coming down hard for a good 30 to 45 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the roofers were out, right?
Oh, sure.
Everybody's getting a new roof. Well, we waited about a year to get ours, but I think our roof has been up now maybe 5 weeks. And then, here we are in storm season. So I was observing our roof and going, sure, I'm glad you're new. I hope you're doing your job.
Okay, so let's compare something.
Okay.
Do you have a no solicitation sign on your lawn and on your house?
No.
Rosanna has 3 of them.
Does she really?
So there's one that's in the lawn that says no solicitation. There's one as you get closer, please no solicitation. And there's one about maybe the size of like 5 by 5, and it says no solicitation. Now, if you're friends or family, you're more than welcome, but no solicitation. And the last line is, please, let's not make this weird.
Yeah. No, we have people solicit us, and we don't have a sign. And, and now that I'm in sales, generally speaking, I open the door and I have a conversation with them. And if it's something that I'm interested in, I'll take their card and I'll let them know if I'm going to get back with them, or I'll just say, we're not interested at this time. Thank you. I know you're doing your job. Appreciate it. Stay safe out there.
Yes.
And just let them be on their way. And generally speaking, they receive that well. I've never had anybody really push me and try to take that any step further.
No.
And you know what I've noticed too? I have an appreciation for this. A lot of times, the door-to-door salesmen that come in our neighborhood are men.
Yes.
Versus women. It's mostly men. Nowadays, they will ring our bell and they will step back like 12 feet from the door, so that when I come to the door, I'm not confronted with
threatening.
A physical threat.
18-inch rule.
Well, I mean, we're talking like 18 feet.
I know.
They step way back, like almost to where they're not even on the porch sometimes. Like they'll step back down the steps.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, thank you. And then sometimes they'll come forward if they're handing me their card. A lot of times I'll step out onto the porch so that I don't feel like I'm going to be pushed back into my home. Not that anybody's ever made me feel threatened. They haven't, but
it's a new school for sales.
It's also a something that women think about that maybe men don't. As far as opening your door to someone, like, could there be a physical threat here?
Look, if somebody's at your door and they ring the bell, what you want to hear from them is, your wings are here.
Your wings are here?
Wings and pizza, man.
Oh, I don't eat wings.
It's no cook night. You don't at all? Buy me a cup of coffee, Mandee.
Yeah.
I've seen that on other podcasts. That's literally...
Yeah, it's like a virtual tip jar. It's really that simple. So you go to the show notes, click Buy Me a Coffee, and then you have an opportunity to support the show in any way you like. Imagine yourself going to coffee with Chuck and myself and saying, hey, I like what you do on the show. I'm going to buy you a cup of coffee. Only all you have to do is click a link. It's that simple. Once a year. I don't like them.
You don't... Okay, so you don't like chicken.
I like chicken. I don't like chicken wings. They are messy. And I don't like the way it feels on my hands. I don't like the messiness of it. I don't want to clean it up. I don't like the barbecue flavor either.
Yeah.
Like the traditional barbecue chicken wings. I cannot stand it. I don't like it. Not a fan. I'll eat garlic parmesan. That's about it.
Okay, I understand. I tend to be a non-mess person. Like when I see the cooking shows and they go, we've got this burger that's 8 inches thick. I go, no, I'm not going to sit there and take a bite and have burger innards squirt all over me. I just don't want that. I can't deal with that. It's like Rosanna will say, she's made like this wonderful chicken rice soup, and she'll say, the last week she had this kind of almost like a vegan beef soup, really dense, and it was really good. And she goes, you want to take it to work? I go, oh, no, it's a mess. I can't do that. Because it's even though I work at a workstation, I don't consider it my workstation.
I understand. It's a shared workspace.
I have a drawer for my junk. As I told Jared Jones, my broadcast partner, I said, let me tell you something, kid. Now, here's what you do. These 2 garbage bags that are in my knapsack, that's for that stuff in that drawer in case the Grim Reaper arrives. He goes, oh, Chuck. And I go, no, son. Always be prepared.
Oh, geez, Chuck. What's funny about that is when you and I worked together at the ranch, you did not have that same thought process.
No.
And when the unfortunate day came that they decided that they only needed one country programmer in the market, man, it took you 8 hours to move out.
I told Ginger Nimmons, I said, this is going to take me a while. She goes, just take your time. I'll never forget that day because I walk into Dave Moreland. I said, Dave, sorry, this is it. I got to go. And he goes, I've been fired. I go, no, Dave, it's me. It's me. Chuck, come on. Your market. No. And I remember in the parking lot, I'll never forget, things were pretty packed down. It was one of those things where we're kind of pacing. And you said,
oh, dear.
Are we going to continue to have lunch? And I go, do you want to? And you go, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're friends.
But I mean, sometimes radio is a weird what am I trying to say? A weird thing because I have friends in the business that
you've lost touch with?
I've maybe not lost touch. Well, one of my good pals, Amy Austin, I have it to where, and she's kind of famous for this, where, you can go 5 years without seeing her. And when you do see her, boom, conversation picks up. Yeah. And that's pretty cool, actually. Kenny Smith, I probably see Kenny the most. Because Kenny and Doc come up the station. Kenny was up about 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting there trying to figure a lead in for one of our news things and just going, is this going to work? And all of a sudden, whop, Kenny's on top. Hey, brother, how you doing? I go, Kenny?
Kenny's great about maintaining relationships and friendships. He makes a conscious effort to stay in touch with people, and that's something that I value and appreciate about Kenny.
Kenny should wear a T-shirt that says, I care.
I mean, I feel like he does without it being explicitly expressed. I mean, it's very easy to sense when you're around Kenny that he deeply cares for people.
I have to call one of our good friends, Rod Wayne, today. Rod's up in Hot Springs.
Nice.
And we need to get him back on the show. But Rod is really good about, and I think her name is Jackie Lawson. The
greeting cards. They're beautiful. I love them. I get so much joy when he sends me one.
He sent me one for my birthday, and it was beautiful. It said from Rod Wayne and Golda. Golda is his dog, which is a great story there.
We should ask Rod to tell that story when he comes back.
Oh, it's just
the Golda story.
It's so good. It's it's so antithesis of when you hear somebody, the puppy mill stories. We've had a couple of stories this week where one was 27 dogs and 3 cats crammed into one place, and it just makes me scream.
Yeah.
If you can't take care of them, don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've got our big boy, 85 pounds of puppy love. Well, he's 7 now, probably. But and I've had people say, well, you should get him a friend. And I go, I can't. I mean, I take care of him. 2 dogs would kill me. It would have, but
I tried to get you to take a kitty cat friend for him, and you said he would eat it.
I don't know. Wow. The last time we were on our farm in Chandler, like 5 years ago, yeah, there were some stray feral cats, and he got a hold of one of them one day. And
Really? He did?
yeah, he did.
Okay, so you were being completely literal whenever you said he might eat it.
He didn't eat it, but he killed it. And
He probably thought he was playing with it.
probably. But we go in the neighborhood, and I think it's because I think that he thinks that he's guarding me, because we will be
Possibly.
walking, and he'll see cats, and he sits there, and, you know, dogs will do this thing where they're, like, breathing hard, and I'm like, okay, Princey, here's the deal. You can eat this guy for, like, breakfast. It's not going to hurt me. We're going to be fine. But he has the same reaction to people. Not that, I mean, he will, if he hears somebody, he turns around and stares.
Yeah.
And I go, it's a people. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You know? So we had that this morning a couple of times, just walking. And because I had to, then I always have to explain my Saturday. Okay, Daddy's going to be back in a couple hours, and I get the stare. It's like, you hate me. Daddy loves you. Mommy will be here. I'll be back in a couple hours, because if it's nice, we'll go to the park. If not,
Yeah.
it's a flip. But we kind of ran around with things and weather. But, yeah, weather's something to where you feel like if you don't do it right, and I think there's maybe 3 times in my career where the stations have blown it. But it's always been in a particular situation. In that particular situation, weekend, usually Sundays.
Yeah, when people are living their lives.
They're living their lives.
You were really good, though. I will say this. When you programmed the ranch, you basically had us on call during severe weather season. If I remember correctly, we had weekend weather duties.
Yeah.
And you were really great about making us aware that, like, hey, this is your weekend to do the weather. Be aware and be prepared to come up here and do the thing.
Yeah.
If it breaks loose.
And I think I always
You
had it.
mostly did that yourself, though. Like, you tried your best not to put that off on us, but we did rotate.
We rotated, but I also said this, and I also said, okay, it's your weather weekend. Something's coming up. We're getting hit hard fast, but you need to call me.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, in those situations, I mean, yeah, Rosanna, the dog, me, we'd pile in and come on up.
Well, and when we were working together at the ranch, that's when we had a series of hurricanes roll through. We had, like, Ike, Rita.
Yes.
Harvey was later, but Ike and Rita, I feel like there was one more.
Wasn't Rita the one where we were all pretty much on...
We were all at the station together.
Well, because it was after Ike, and I think when Rita came, we thought... the remnants of that hurricane we thought was really going to hit hard.
And they did. That's when we had so many people displaced from Louisiana that came up to Northeast Texas.
We thought it was going to
And displaced from Houston, too, I think.
I think we thought it was going to hit us harder than what we thought in Tyler. I think it was more of a deep East Texas thing, like Lufkin, maybe.
Yeah.
Because
we just got a lot of rain.
We got a lot of rain. And
not as much wind. I think Ike hit us more with wind.
Yeah.
So we were prepared for it with Rita, and then it just was more water, I think.
It's that, too, that reminds you about community. And I'm talking about, you know, there's the community of who we serve, and there's the community of us as broadcasters.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of that's lost now because the staffs are so small. I mean, at that time, we had, 3 or 4 people per station, and there were 4 stations in the building.
Yes.
So you had a staff of, 12 to 16 people, plus part-timers.
Yes.
You know, it was just a different time now. When, before I left Town Square, oh gosh, has it been? It'll be 6 years in July since I left there full time. When I left there, we had about 2 per station.
Yeah.
But, in those situations where weather is breaking loose, thankfully, it's pretty easy to hit a button and take, the weather feed over there to where, they can observe it and they can pretty much just watch the television and wait for the TV meteorologist to say we're all clear before they go back to regular programming. But, if the electricity goes off, if the internet connection goes down, any of that, somebody's got to be there to make something happen, right?
This happened yesterday.
Did it?
So the internet connection goes down. Mm-hmm. Our news partner, KETK, we lose their feed, right?
Yep.
Jared Jones, my broadcast partner, who, when he first came over to us, when he was pushing buttons at 92 on the team and doing games, he also did nighttime weather. It's almost legendary. His first 2 weeks, he had like 7 times where he had severe weather.
Really?
He knows this like the back of his hand. So he walks into the studio and says, Kevin, hit the internet real quick. Let's get their internet feed. Boom, boom. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was just really, really, it's everybody has knowledge to, make it work.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I take, especially when I refer to us at the ranch, that, and I remember taking a huge amount of comfort is that, over a short amount of time, we kind of defined things pretty quick. I mean, Tom Perriman was Tom, did his thing, great.
Yeah.
Don Jones, mornings, production.
Producing Tom. So
there's a lot of bits and pieces in his. And Don was usually there till 2 or 3 daily.
Yeah.
I think about it and it kind of blows my mind. And then, me and you controlled the back end a lot. And this is just me talking as a programmer of a particular station. As we went along, I got a lot of comfort in knowing that I know how the pieces ran. We knew how to do things in any given situation. If it was bad weather and I needed help, and it's like 9 at night, I'm probably not going to call Don. I'll call you if I needed help.
Right.
Because I know that I could, and I know that the hours would flex a lot better. But yeah, weather, it's to me, it's the biggest deal. I mean, Paul Gleiser, our boss, was like, well, this is where we serve the public. Mm-hmm. We become the PSA.
Yeah. That's probably the part that was most meaningful to me. Like when I look back on my career, and I've been reflecting a lot lately.
Did you hit your 20 or was it like 18 or over? You did 20, right?
I did 20.
Woo-hoo.
So, if you count part-time, full-time, I would have been approaching 20 years this May.
I count it all.
Yeah, I count it all. So yes. Yeah, so 2001.
Being a grizzled vet, you bet.
Plus, right. So, when I reflect back on it though, and I think about the things that were meaningful to me.
Yes.
And the things that were fun and the things that were challenging and whatnot. And for whatever reason, maybe it's my age, I've been doing this a lot lately about my career. And the thing that I have found to be the most meaningful has been in ways where I felt like I was serving the public.
This has been another episode of The Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
And I'm Chuck McKinley.
This is our show to explore radio,
podcasting,
gear,
and the gearheads that use the gear,
and making money with a hot mic,
and other stuff in between.
We'd love for you to follow us on social media as well. Follow us on Facebook at The Unknown Morning Show and Instagram at The Unknown Morning Show. See us on YouTube at The Unknown Morning Show.
Thank you for listening to The Unknown Morning Show.
I'm Mandee Montana.
I'm Chuck McKinley. And remember, be kind and rewind.